Good afternoon. I am back from Europe. Welcome to my channel, My Joyful Life with My Dollies. Um, it's been a fun couple weeks. I just got back and my husband and I got to go to Europe for 2 weeks, and I got home and I saw my beautiful little dollies here, my babies, and they just brought me a lot of joy. Um, and in fact, I started changing a couple of them because it's feeling a little bit more fall-like here in Wisconsin. And I'm joined by little Hannah here, my little precious little girl, and she's the Alma sculpt. And I reborn this sweet baby, and she's wearing the coziest little sleeper with looks like little tiger spots. And she's just a sweet little baby girl. I love her little expression, and I just adore this little girl. And I do have a collection of like 20 dolls or 22, and I just enjoy each one for their own unique, special reasons. They all have their little personalities, and this is little Hannah. I named her Hannah. And next to Hannah, we have Diana. And she's a sterling sculpt. And I received her from Old Fashioned Reborns. I purchased her on reborns.com. And I just love her little face. She's a chunky little baby. And she's wearing a little sleeper that was gifted to me by Auntie Claudia in Montreal, Canada. And it's so neat to treasure all our little gifts that we get from friends in the community. I always all these little gifts kind of remind me of the friends that we get to know in the Reborn community. And so it's always fun to change them and change our sweet little babies. So little Diana is sound asleep. She's just sleeping away. And of course she could suck her thumb if she wanted to, but I guess she didn't want to. She's just sleeping, and she loves sitting right next to little Hannah. I thought these two look so cute together. Let me put them together so that they look like they're cuddling together there. And I love all my babies for different reasons. And I've got a little bunny here, a little pink bunny. I have many little stuffies, little stuffed animals to go with my dollies, or little toys, and it's always fun to just kind of rotate them and just have fun with them. And like this little bunny kind of rattles a little bit. I got her quite a while ago, and she kind of has a little rattling sound, and she's very soft, and she's got floppy ears. And so I thought she looked pretty cute with my two sweet babies here. I've been kind of getting in the mood to change my dollies again, because now that fall is coming, the air is crisp and the leaves start to change. And so it kind of gets me in the mood for changing my babies. And so these were the first two that I decided to change today, and I'll gradually be changing my other babies. And I just wanted to check that we're in the camera okay. Yeah, we're doing fine. And so I wanted to tell you about my trip to Europe. Our daughter and son treated us to airline tickets to go visit our son in Lausanne, Switzerland. And so that was about 3 months ago that they invited us. And so we decided, okay, this was our chance to go visit them, or visit our son. And of course his girlfriend lives there too, and he's going for his PhD at one of the universities there. And he when we got there, he took us gave us a tour of the lab where he's working, and he's hoping to be there 3 or 4 years. He just started like in March or April, so we're really excited for him. He always has been very excited about research, and so we arrived there, and we arrived in Paris. We flew Air France airline, and I had never been in an Air France airline, so it was quite an experience. Listening to French, people speaking French, and they treated us very nicely on the plane. We got nice meals. It took about 8 hours to get there, so it was quite a long flight. And we arrived there, and our son met us at the Paris airport, and then we took the train. Everybody takes trains there. It's a very efficient way of getting around, and they have machines around where you can purchase the tickets, and you just use your credit card, and you can choose however many tickets you want, and you kind of have to get to know the system, and our son helped us with that, thank goodness. Otherwise, we would have been a little bit lost, with like in any new city or any new country, you have to kind of get to know the the different tricks to traveling. And so, yeah, we had a really wonderful time. So we went in the train and went to, we went from Paris, we stayed in Paris a couple nights and walked around Paris. We went to the Eiffel Tower, and it was incredibly busy. There were very long lines. So, you had to be patient to be able to go into the Eiffel Tower and go way up on an elevator. You could either go up the steps or take an elevator. And we got a beautiful sight of Paris from way up there. And I just wanted to show you a photo of Paris. Hopefully it's coming through okay. And it's a quite big city. It's very big. And so, yeah, from the Eiffel Tower, we could really see the whole city. And we also walked around Paris. We went to different parks. We saw fountains. I love fountains. We saw a lot of statues. We stayed there like a day or two, and then we took the train to Lausanne, where our son lives, and we got to see his apartment. And then the first week he had to work until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so my husband and I would just kind of do our own thing. We just kind of walked around the city. There was a lot of walking. We walked a lot, and we got to see a lot of things. You get to walk by the many bakeries, and they're called patisseries, and they have the most luscious looking desserts or bakery, and they have crepes, and they have little cafes where you can have coffee and baked goods, and the food is a little bit expensive, so you could either split a meal or just go out occasionally. We were able to eat at my son's apartment quite a bit, and that saved us quite a bit of money right there. So yeah, we went to Lausanne. We went to other little villages close to Lausanne, from like within an hour away or 2 hours away, and we took the train. And it was pretty exciting taking the train. It goes pretty fast, and the seats are comfortable, so you can sit, and the windows are big, so there's a lot of sightseeing. And so anyway, I wanted to show you a few photographs of that we took there. And if I forget the names of the villages, there were a lot of little towns that we visited. But I wanted to show you some photos. here's one of my husband and my son. They got to rent a sailboat, and they got to go. This was close to Luzon, where my son lives, and they got to rent a sailboat and go out in the water, and they really enjoyed that. So there they are, getting ready to go out sailing. My husband's big into sailing, so they had the opportunity to do that. So let's see, what else did we see? I got to see swans. So I took a photo of a swan, and there were some lakes that had 3, 4, 5 swans, and I just love swans. So I took quite a few photos, and we still have we must have taken at least 100 photos while we were there. So yeah, I love swans, and I love the buildings, the little houses with a lot of them had beautiful flowers, and very unique, with like vines going down from the buildings, and there was a lot of cobblestone roads, little walkways, and most French persons live like in little apartments. So not many live in houses. There are a lot of little apartments in the different cities. And here's a photo of me. I think I put this one on Instagram, and there I am with some beautiful pink flowers. I love flowers, so everywhere we stopped, if there were flowers, I just took photos. And the first week it was kind of coolish, like in the 60s to 70s, and then the second week it got really hot. It was like 92, 93. But yeah, you just never know what the weather is going to be like when you're traveling. Here's some other, it's hard for me to explain where all these, I've got photos. It's hard to remember where they were all taken. But this one is so cool with the sailboat, kind of old-fashioned, and many buildings. And yeah, so there it is. We got lots of photos, which is so nice. We also went to the Louvre, and we went to the Palace of Versailles in Paris, which were totally amazing. I just love the paintings, walking in there. The Palace of Versailles, there were just hundreds of paintings, and even up on the ceiling, it was just unbelievable how they could have painted those things up in the ceilings, and just the beautiful framed oil paintings. And we got to see Mona Lisa, which was really something. There were many people in front taking photos of Mona Lisa. And this mountain is really something. It's called I'm trying to think. Zambrat. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. But it was a beautiful. We went up to this town, and we got to go up on a train and go up the mountain. And this mountain is very high. And it was really I guess there are a lot of rock climbers that climb this. It takes, you'd have to be you'd have to be a risk taker to be able to do that. And, so beautiful. It was so much fun taking the train. We went to castles. We visited a couple castles, very old castles that were built maybe in the 1500s. Really old. So there's a picture of a castle, one of the castles we saw. Yeah, isn't that something? And we got to go inside the castles. So, yeah, that's really cool. And here's one more little picture. Like I said, we took so many photographs, but I hope to put them in a scrapbook, some of the photos I took, and then I'll be able to show you a little better where we were, and what we saw. And so yeah, so we just kept very busy. And we normally would go out to eat at night with our son and his girlfriend. They both are going to school or doing research. So we'd come home and, or we'd go out and maybe eat, like have a French taco, or we'd have crepes, or we'd have, let's see, what else did we have? Oh, one of the places we went to, we had, what is it that where you dip the cheese into the bread and, either with chocolate or cheese. We had one of those. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was delicious. And so I would recommend for any of you who I think you're would like to go to Europe. It's a beautiful place. One thing you have to be careful with is on the train. You really have to watch for your belongings, because in big cities, there are a lot of tourists. So just beware of your surroundings, and make sure you're hanging on to your bags and everything, because there can be pickpockets out there, and so just be very careful. It's like with any big city, you just have to be very aware of where you are, and don't carry around too many valuables. And so yeah, I just wanted to come on, and I'm glad to be home again. And our daughter is getting ready to have a baby soon. We're pretty excited about that. She's doing very well. And the baby, it looks like the baby is doing fine, and our daughter's doing great too. And so yeah, it'll be an exciting couple weeks coming up. And I'll be back again with a couple other babies, and we can talk about babies, and I can change my dollies. So I want to thank you all for joining me, and I hope you're all enjoying the fall-like weather, and I'll be back again. So thanks so much. Bye-bye.